What up, everyone? I just finished watching Barbarian. If you have not heard of it, it is a new horror movie that came out in the theaters a couple of months ago. I was gonna go see it in the theaters, but something ended up happening and I couldn't go. And man, I'm kind of disappointed I didn't see this in the movie theaters because this is probably my second favorite horror movie of the whole year. If not, it's definitely tied with Men, which I highly recommend you guys watch. It's another good horror movie. But I had no expectations for this movie whatsoever. Like it was down at the bottom, and I I saw a bit of the trailer when it came out, but not too much. So I basically went into this movie completely blind, and I'm happy I didn't watch any trailers. I have a feeling it would have ruined the movie a bit. But I love how creative this movie is. I really don't have any complaints. I'm just shocked how much I liked it because I was kind of hesitant to watch it. I was like, I don't know if this is going to be my kind of horror because I thought it was going to be very predictable. I thought it was going to be very stupid. Yes, you have characters making a couple of dumb decisions, but overall, the movie just makes up for it in the end. You care about all the characters. Um, Bill Skarsgård, if I'm saying his name right, phenomenal job. The best thing about this movie is how unpredictable it is. Every time you think someone is the villain or something like that, it completely twists your expectations and they pull it off 100%. Like like I said, no complaints at all. The score is amazing. I love the score, the setting of the movie, and the acting was really good from Tess, the other main character. Justin Long is also in this, which is funny because I don't think I've seen him in a horror movie before, and I know he's in a couple of them, like Jeepers Creepers. I guess I've seen him in that. I didn't even realize he was in that. But I usually see him in comedy movies, but he did a really good job here. Didn't feel forced or anything. It felt really natural, and I really loved the pacing of the movie too. I think it flows really fucking good. It ends when it needs to. It doesn't go on for too long. The movie's like an hour and 40 minutes, and if they wanted to, they could have dragged it on, but they cut it off at like the perfect point. The ending of this movie, I'm not gonna spoil, but these kind of endings I love. I love these kind of endings, and it just makes the movie so much better when the ending exceeds the whole movie and just makes it even better. If you haven't seen the movie, I would recommend you don't watch this video because I am going to spoil something. But if you have seen it, just keep watching if you're even watching. But since I didn't see too much marketing or like I didn't really watch the trailer, as soon as I heard that Bill Skarsgård was in this, I was like, okay, he's probably going to be the villain. So originally, I thought just from reading the IMDb description, a woman stays at Airbnb thing and there's already someone living there. So like in your mind you think, okay, that dude's gonna be the killer, and then that's why I was hesitant to watch it. I was like, he's just gonna kidnap her and torture her. We've seen this shit a million times, but that is not what happens. And I was sitting the part before he, Bill Skarsgård gets killed. A couple of scenes before that, I was like, he is so good he's such a good actor, and he's so good at convincing this girl that like he's not going to do anything to harm her and blah blah blah. He's a gentle guy. But there was also something like I was 50-50, and my other opinion was, is he a villain or is he the good guy? Because at the very beginning, I'm like, yeah, he's the bad guy. He's gonna let her in. He's gonna let her sleep in his bed. A few funky things are gonna happen. But when he's having his nightmare and you realize that he's not the one that opened her bedroom door, and then you see something else close, that to me is like such good storytelling. It's like a 2 second glimpse of the door, but it explains so much in the movie story wise. So as soon as you see that and you see that he's still sleeping, you put it together. It's very simple, but it makes for a very interesting premise. And then it keeps you on your toes. And they go down, and when they're downstairs, he's screaming for help. I'm like, okay, is he gonna pull her in and kill her? Like, I wasn't expecting what happened. I'm not gonna explain it, but what happened, I was not expecting. And sometimes that can happen and just completely piss you off. But this time, the the producers, the writers, really good dialogue in this. They pulled it off, and they completely subvert your expectations. Having Bill Skarsgård not being the villain, I think was a perfect opportunity, and they did the proper, like, perfect storyline. Because if he was the villain, the movie would have been very predictable. But that's where they switch it up. There's a bit of character development for Justin Long, which I really liked, and then you get another kind of a backstory about the house and how it all started. And I really, really, really dug the way they did it because they didn't give us too much information. They gave us just enough. And even after watching the movie, I still have a couple of questions, but not in a bad way. I like watching a horror movie and feeling satisfied at the end and still having a few questions that they want the audience to think of for themselves instead of telling us. And that is another thing this movie succeeds at. Like, you feel 100% satisfied with the movie, but you're like, fuck, like, how was that girl like that? Like, how long has she been living for? The hobo that they end up being with for a couple of minutes kind of explains it, but he doesn't give too much information. But yet again, we don't need everything to explain to us, and this just keeps the movie interesting, and it keeps that mystery and unique feel to it. And you definitely want to watch it again because you want more answers. Maybe they're in the movie if you watch it on a second rewatch, and maybe they're not. And that's the beautiful thing about Barbarian. I think they did a wicked job with exceeding our expectations and twisting them like crazy. Really well done. I give this almost a 10 out of 10. I give it a 9. But there's nothing I didn't like about it. But I guess I could give it a 10 out of 10, could I? You know what? Why not? I don't give movies 10 out of 10s often. Yeah, so basically that's the review. I'm just really shocked of how much I like this movie, how good the acting was, and like I said, yes, there is a couple of dumb decisions. It's like, why would you go back in the house when you finally got out? I get you want to save the guy, but like, think of your own life. Like, get the fuck out of there. But I don't know. In the end, it does kind of make sense, and then that ending just comes and it goes, and you're just like, what the fuck did I just watch? But in a good way. You got such a big smile on your face. That is how you do a proper horror movie. Give us 95% of the answers. Leave a couple of things unanswered for us to fuck around with and digest it all. And please don't make a Barbarian 2. Just leave this as it is. We don't need a sequel or anything. This, as a standalone horror movie, one of the best I've seen, and one of the best I've seen all year. Definitely in number 1 or number 2, because I really, really like Men. I gotta watch both of these again. Maybe I'll have a different rating, I'm not sure. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll check you later.